we're
We got a
dismissing.
couple minutes, right?
Yep. Yep.
Clark always runs it.
Yeah.
He's always.
Clark, an attorney here in town?
I don't know
I know
what
he's
Clark.
a notary,
Do you know all the attorneys?
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
and
really know what.
he's not one of them. If he is.
Your lawyer called her. But I didn't tell him. So we had her. I don't know why. He would call her. He wasn't told to call her. He's been his grandpa chaplain. He brought over thing there. And I was sort of kept her. Yeah. Stan used to be down there. Folks me all.
Things for you to sign.
He's not doing it. In her right now, he's allowed to. Frank is not.
Tim means the bad way. I'm sure he's a Pittsburgh student.
No.
Well, he might be chairman, but he's not.
I have to tell you my favorite Pittsburgh Steelers story though. Jack Lambert was a year behind me in school up at Crestwood, and for whatever reason, from 6th grade on, our 7th grade class and his 6th grade class were together, and went through like that until high school. And in junior high wrestling, I pinned the sucker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. He probably doesn't forget that.
I heard that they really didn't think he was going to be a football player. He thought he was going to be a basketball player.
He was a good basketball player. He played. We played baseball together, and he was our shortstop. I played first base.
He was a shortstop.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. He was just a good all-around athlete.
He shut down Andy Stagner when they played. Andy Stagner was all state.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack was, in junior high football, he played quarterback for us and strong safety. And on defense, he wasn't always the first guy on the hit, but he always knew where the ball was and just had a good sense of it. And playing shortstop, he was the only infielder that I had that I knew I was going to get a straight throw from. It was he was real good.
So you always had that peaches and cream personality.
Well, he was much less fierce coming through, yeah. But, he and another guy, we were in tackling practice, and you have like 3 sets of footballs, and then you have to stay within the line. Well, they both lowered their head at the same time, and they literally peeled the netting thing was still there, but the helmet was split right down the middle. And Jack gets up, and I don't think he knew where he was, but he went to the back of the line. He was ready for the next time around. So.
My roommate in college played nose tackle.
Nobody's going to win.
He also played everybody else. He was an all-American.
Yeah.
But he was the strongest individual I've ever met. I mean, you have those old 50s refrigerators. He used to carry one on the back up the basement steps into our room, get it ready for the school year.
Yeah, yeah.
But we had an all-American garden offense, and he used to, and 2 or 3 times during practice, got carried away. He gave up forearm to the basement. Dan's helped me. They're both fraternity brothers. He still talks about 50 years later.
Yeah,
He still talks about that. My arms are all bruised because I kept trying to block Bear's floor. We called him Bear's floor.
Well, yeah. Okay, so Clark isn't here, but that's all
I
right.
guess not.
No, we won't.
You throw me a piece of candy. Is there any left?
No.
I haven't had
No,
it.
there's none left.
Throw me one. I'll eat it.
Here, pass it on over. Here. They're small. Take a couple.
Halloween.
Wait, you can't do that. I'm calling the meeting to order.
Trying to get rid of it.
Actually, my nephew Joey did that.
Okay, I'm going to call the October 31st, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for the City of Ravenna to order. And I want to start this with roll call, and then I've got some remarks I want to make before we get into everything else.
Okay. Jerry Keyser,
Present.
Ken Porcase,
Here.
Dr. Miller,
Present.
Tim Thomas,
Here?
Clark Megditch, Larry Salinas,
Here.
Vince Barnes.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Before we get to the approval of the minutes, I will have to tell you that I was embarrassed by not being here last month. I don't know why why it wasn't on my calendar. I think that's the first meeting I've ever missed, and, but the good side of that was I had a fun time with the family that night, so it wasn't a total loss.
Well, good.
Did they get any money?
No,
Okay, that was a total loss.
well, no, not really. It was intangible.
Well, it's funny because I had told Tiffany maybe a half hour before the meeting, and I think I told Bob, I don't think you're coming. You remember that,
Yeah,
Tiffany?
yeah.
Long before.
Yeah, he's like he
So
knew.
we're looking at the clock and it's almost 7 o'clock, and I said, where is he? She goes, how do you know he isn't gonna be here? I said, well, sometimes I know things.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting after the meeting, you're gonna have a booth set up out there with an orange light and a crystal ball, and we'll find out what's gonna happen.
Because that's what I told everybody, I said, I don't think he's coming. I bet it was a half hour at least before the meeting.
Yeah.
Tim,
Well,
we just physically, what, you normally are mentally.
that's right. Well, and thank you, Dr. Miller, for covering on short notice, and
But that's why we did that. When we nominated you, I did the nomination. I don't know if it's in the minutes or.
it is.
I said, what we'll do is, because in the past, when you did have things you had to do, he said, would you do it? And I said, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you do fail the meeting, we have an idea. If you do, it's not as refined as you. And that was the most, since you and I have been on this board.
Well,
And
see,
we blew through them.
I want an impeachment investigation in me.
But we blew through
Started.
them and got out of here a reasonable time.
We had
And I
5
probably
items.
didn't do it as formally.
yeah, see, I've only missed the meetings where there's been a lot of business on the
Good job,
agenda. The
Clark.
5 meetings and then the time over with,
So you stay after tonight.
yeah, that's my punishment.
That's your punishment.
That's right.
You
Right.
stay for 2 more, or 3 more appeals
That's right.
by yourself.
But Dr. Miller will have to tell me what they're about.
Clark's here.
Well,
Because
it kind of put me on short notice. But everybody was so nice and kind and helpful.
Well, that,
Even Clark, who's interrupted me. Yeah,
yeah, I read the minutes and I saw he was pretty active, so.
yeah. But everybody's very helpful. Bob
Okay.
helped, everybody helped. It
Oh.
went really well.
Good.
You miss whenever you want. Just let me know a few minutes, or at
Well, I
least
may not
send me
show
a-
up next month, so.
Send me a signal.
There's the signal.
Clark, we're actually still on
The bat phone.
roll call, so Clark Magditch?
Present.
Very good.
All right.
Do we have to have a motion to excuse him on the record then?
Who, me?
You,
Yeah. You didn't do it last month, so you don't need to do it this month.
okay.
I think I've got to miss 3 in a row,
We did
don't I?
excuse.
Well, I think
We
the
did
rule was
excuse
when we had years ago, we said it was 3 total,
Yes.
not
Okay.
I'm pretty
Tiffany
sure.
says we did it.
I thought
I
we
think we did.
excused it.
I think we did.
Yeah, I thought we did.
I didn't think I saw it in the minutes, but I could have been mistaken.
Well, there was a lot of, there was a.
Anyway, speaking of the minutes, you all have a copy of the September 26, 2023 minutes. And once you've had a chance to check some things,
Yeah.
I will, so it's in there?
Page 15,
Yeah, I even seconded the motion.
yes.
I think if you miss 3 and don't tell us in a
Yeah.
year, then
What are we
we
doing?
can have Mr. Siemens replace you.
Yeah, I guess there was a motion
That was years ago.
last. Clark made that motion. He was really active.
Yeah, he came through on us.
Okay, well, thank you,
Thanks,
Clark.
Clark.
So,
If it weren't for you, I would have really screwed up.
all right. Are there questions, additions, deletions from the minutes?
Now we got him.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Jerry? Larry, you're a second on that? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, we have 2 requests tonight, and we're going to start with Tanya Johnson. Is she here? Yes.
Hello, my name is Tanya.
Hold on. I got to swear you in, just
Oh, I'm
for the
sorry.
record, so if you'll raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you'll give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. Now, if you can state your name and address, and then we'll get to your variance
Okay.
request.
My name is Tanya Johnson. I live at 433 Jefferson Street here in Ravenna.
And what are you requesting tonight of the board?
I'm requesting to concrete my existing driveway. It is closer to the property line than what what the village allows, or the city allows.
Okay. you've got a real narrow area there between you and your neighbor, don't you?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And I do, in your paperwork, he has signed where he does not care if it comes over to the property line even. He said it could even come over to his home, he didn't care, you know. He said it would be nice and he wouldn't have to weed eat.
Well, that's being a nice neighbor, I guess. So,
Yeah.
Did we get a letter
yes, and,
from the neighbor?
yeah.
Yes, correct.
That's what your son-in-law told me. I was at your house.
Oh, yeah, okay, yes,
So
I
was
was,
he.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and the neighbor consented to it, has no objection to
And
that.
you're maybe buying that house, is that correct?
I already purchased that house.
Okay, I didn't know that. He didn't tell me that part. You're at 433, right?
Correct.
Okay. I have a question, though, questions.
Go ahead.
How much distance is there between your house and the neighbor's house that you bought? Between 433 where you live and that neighbor's? We didn't measure, it was raining over there.
I didn't measure, all I'm
And I
going
didn't know
by
if
is
it had a
the,
picture of that or Bob had a rendition. I wasn't sure how much it was. It looked like about 12 feet.
It's pretty narrow.
I truly don't know.
See, you have to
I
have
think
5 feet off the
Property line, yes, that's what they told me. And to get actual enough room, they said it would have to be 2 foot off of the property line.
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. If we have to give you an easement, how much easement do we have to give you? But he didn't measure it because he didn't bring his tape measure.
Yeah,
I
If I look at
believe
this
this
one
shows 12
picture,
feet.
right, it
Well, I
looks
wrote
like
12
you
foot
want a
here. That's what I thought
12-foot
was what
wide
I
drive,
guessed.
is that?
I want.
that's what
They
they're
want
saying,
12
that's
feet.
what I need, yes.
That would go through the property.
It's
line.
12 foot now
No,
between
no, sir,
433 and this
that's
house.
the way I understood.
No, no, that's just
They're
the
just
driveway
going,
portion.
the
How much is the
contractor
distance?
just
See,
measured
that's the
it,
thing I couldn't
and it would
tell.
be 2 foot off of the property line, he said.
Oh, all right.
So it wouldn't even be up to the property line?
No, no,
Because
sir.
As
No,
I
sir.
read it initially, I understood it would be right on
She's
the
saying it's
property.
2 feet off the
That's
property
not
line.
what they told me, that's not what the
Okay.
contractor told me.
He wants,
Contractor told me.
they want to concrete all the way from the edge of their house to the house that she evidently just bought, which does change things if they're both deeded to her. You see what I mean? Like with that church deal we did. And I didn't know that either, and I don't know that Bob
Do
Finn
you,
knew that.
do you own both houses?
No, I do not.
Okay, you only own the house you live
I
in?
own the house that I live in.
Yeah, so in the past, just through the recent past, Board of Zoning Appeals granted a driveway variance 18 inches, I believe, from the property line. And the premise was the concrete crew would have the ability to stand and work and not be on the neighbor's property.
Right.
Because the neighbor, they had differences.
Right.
And then as I've said in several years now, this driveway's forever, it's gonna outlive all of us.
Maybe
So,
not. Other than me.
so we cannot allow her to pave onto somebody else's property.
Right.
We also have to expect someday there'll be new neighbors. They may wanna put up a fence. So to protect her, we don't want them tearing out her driveway because it's over the property line. So,
So we
you know,
have to give-
consider that in your variances, that they have to be able to construct it on their property. And as I tell folks that want to install fences, the post hole of a fence, the tangent to the post hole needs to be on their property. So the neighbor doesn't decide to, again, they own to the center of the earth up to the heavens, and they could take that fence foundation away if they really wanted. That's why it's important to keep everything on that homeowner's property.
So if it's 5 feet off the property line, could we give her a 2-foot variance then?
You could give her a 2 foot, a 1 foot, 18 inches.
But that way
Correct.
you have
Wait a
plenty of
minute.
room like you said.
Correct.
That's what it looked like when we
She
looked at your
said-
property.
She asked for 2 feet from the property line, did you not?
That is correct, yes.
That would be a 3-foot
So she
variance,
needs a
would it
3-foot
not?
variance.
Yeah, because it's 5 foot, so it would be a 3-foot
That is
variance.
correct.
And then we have 2 foot off of the property, off of the house.
Good.
That is what the contractor requested.
Did you go look at it? Did you see how
Mhm.
close it
Yep.
was? All right.
Yeah, it's a real narrow.
I just couldn't tell how wide there, how much distance there was. We didn't,
Yeah.
he didn't bring the tape measure.
You didn't remind me.
I know. Well, it's hard to judge these things.
Yeah.
The other thing they had a problem with, they said, or her son-in-law did, Anthony Davis, with the culvert that has to go under the driveway, do you know anything about that? There's a pipe or something, that involve us?
It
Or
might,
you?
but I don't know about it. It hasn't been
Something about the
discussed.
culvert under the driveway,
I had asked for the culvert in front of my home to be piped in. I would pay for the pipe if they would, if the village, the city would put it in. And, they told me that they could not do that. So, I just didn't understand that.
Service director handles that.
okay?
Can't the contractor just lay a pipe there under the concrete before he puts
So
the
we're not
concrete
involved.
down?
Under the apron, yes. Yeah, as long as it, yeah. They
The
need,
apron is not concrete now.
correct.
Are you gonna concrete all the way to the street?
I want to, yes.
Yeah. So if a drive culvert needs to be replaced, obviously now's the time to replace
Yes,
it.
I would do that now. If it needs to be done, the contractor, of course, we can't see it. I mean, it's completely, the culvert that is there now underneath my driveway is completely blocked up. There's no water that goes through it. And that's why I wanted it cleaned out and a new culvert and filled in around it. So I wouldn't have water running up into my yard.
So she got
Makes sense.
So if she's granted the variance, then her contractor is gonna come to us to get a permit, and then we'll discuss it at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. They would be permitted to do that, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely.
So she'll go to the building department, assuming we give her the variance, then she'll go to the building department and talk to them about the culvert.
Okay,
We won't need a variance for that.
yes,
but
okay,
She'll have to talk to them.
all right.
You were in West Union?
Yes, I was. I was the village clerk in West Union for several years.
Yeah, I know where that is. My wife's from down by there. Okay. I like that area, by the way.
Adams County's a very nice area.
It is, it really is. Okay, I have no more
Other questions, comments?
Do you have anything else to say then?
I'll entertain a motion. Larry?
I make a motion that we give her a 3-foot variance. So she'll be still 2 feet from the property line.
Okay. Vince, did I see a second to that? Okay. Further discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, roll call? I did that, yeah.
Jerry Keiser,
Yes.
Ken Porcase.
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Tim Thomas.
Yes?
Clark Megditch,
Yes?
Larry Salinas,
Yes.
Vince Barnes.
Yes.
Okay,
All right, thank you very much.
all right.
The other question is, where do I go get the permit or? the
Building, the
contract?
building department.
Engineering building department.
Engineering.
Or you
Second.
came,
With you?
yeah,
It's on
same.
Freedom Street.
Yes, I know where it's at.
It used to be
Yeah,
the
I know where it's
Arsenal.
at. Yes,
Okay.
okay. Thank
Yep.
you all very much.
Okay, good luck on things.
All right, thank you.
I know where she's from. Okay, what's the other one we're saying?
Okay, our second item of business has to do with LG Chem and Chris Squires, you're the, okay, the representative. Chris, if you could do the same formality for me, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, if you can give your name and your capacity and so forth?
Chris Squires, representing LG Chem for their 310 Ray and Parkway address.
And specifically, what are you looking,
We're looking to get a 69 square foot variance for their sign on the building, the main identification sign on the building. I believe the code is 100 square feet.
So the sign code allows for up to 100 square feet. Obviously, they're larger than that, approximately 169 square feet. Board of Zoning Appeals approved Parker a few years ago. They had a very, very large sign. You know, and their whole point was they want to be able to be seen from Route 14 and sort of thing. So it's just simply a formality, in my opinion. I cannot approve anything over 100 square feet. So
And they're so far back.
Yeah, the setback is huge.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about 500
Yeah.
feet from the
Right.
road. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I drove back and I couldn't believe it.
yeah, it's far back.
But
Is that
again,
lighted then, or how does that work?
it'll
was
be
that?
lit, sure.
Yeah,
sorry?
what we did for Parker was lit, let's say it, remember?
This will be lit.
This is lit, base lit, correct.
Well, they're way off the road. I think it's appropriate to have a large sign that can be
So
seen
you'll
from
have to
Chestnut
present that,
Street.
because that's not his
Correct.
name on the request.
Did we have any
We knew ahead of time that he was
Oh,
coming.
comments or letters from anybody?
And Larry, I do want to, I want to tell you that that 118.75 comes from 25 feet times 4 foot 9 inches. Plus the circle, that's where I got 169 square feet. And yes, I did just square it off.
Good.
That's where that number comes from.
Is that the sign?
Yes.
Well, that's nice, huh?
Are there questions for Mr. Squires? Mark, I see are you here on behalf of the cemetery?
Cemetery, yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna be anything out by the road that was gonna interfere with traffic in and out of the cemetery, and just make sure it was what I assumed was a sign on the building. And I
Okay.
can't see any issues with that at all.
Correct. Yeah, there's nothing better.
Okay.
Is that still adjacent, Mark, to the cemetery that far back like that? Is that cemetery property back that far?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We go all the way back to railroad tracks.
Yeah. I thought it was back, but I didn't know it was parallel or even.
Yeah, the building starts about the first pond and goes almost all the way back to the cemetery, back to about intersection. Q and P are the last ones in the back.
I see.
Next to last road.
I didn't know it went back that far, I guess. Thanks.
Motion.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the variance.
Are we okay?
So moved.
Should have been there last time.
Larry?
You were.
Okay.
What time?
Further discussion on the motion? Roll call on the motion, please.
Okay. Ken Porcase. Yes. Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Tim Thomas.
Yes.
Mark Megditch,
Yes.
Vince Barnes.
Yes.
Larry Salinas.
Yes.
Jerry Keiser.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Good luck on the sign. Thank you for coming into the community. You too.
Do you have a phone number for us, right?
Okay, no old business?
Yes.
Nothing on the horizon?
I do have one for next month already.
Spring tree at that last time.
667 Northwood is, what is he seeking? Shed.
I'm not gonna bring it up.
10 by 20 shed.
Okay, that'll be at the next meeting.
Yep.
On
What's the
November
address?
28th.
I got the can.
Yes.
I'll
What was
plan
the
on being
address?
there.
Bring it up.
667 Northwood Court.
Didn't bring it with me.
That is off of Diamond Hills over there.
So fun. I wanted to thank this, but
Okay, that's the only thing we've got coming up.
What date will our meeting be?
November.
November 28th.
Yes.
I'll try to keep my wife going. Now I'm gonna work with you.
Well, what a way to celebrate.
Oh, good. We'll have to have more dessert and candy.
There's your friend.
Somebody's gonna have cake here for you, that's all I can tell you, Clark.
She can be ruthless.
There'll be leftovers.
Yeah, there'll be leftover turkey, right? Turkey and
You know,
stuff.
her dad was a
Okay,
big builder.
if there's nothing else, I'll
Their
take a motion to
sister's an
adjourn.
attorney. She has done
Second?
systems architecture.
Second, Clark? I'll keep Clark in the mix here on things, so, meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.
My dad was, if I didn't have a scholarship, I would have gone.
So you continuing to tell me how rich you are.
You too. Everybody have a Thanksgiving.